a man should be sad. Like, that's masculinity to me.
Really?
Yeah.
When that like verges on the inability to express any kind of joy and gratitude.
I don't think it should. I think that could be peppered in. I mean, do you feel like you're a sad man? You're a sad guy, right? You're not happy.
What do you think, Esther?
Skims. I love Skims. I love the Skims cotton collection. The scoop bra, I have about 7 of them. Shop Skims cotton and all of our favorite pieces at skims.com. After you place your order, be sure to let them know we sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select our show in the drop-down menu that follows.
I feel like I need to stop somewhere.
Where do you need to stop?
I think I might need to stop at REI.
Yes.
For
Close
what?
Right?
Wait, for
Yes,
hiking?
love
What's
an
going on?
REI.
Maybe.
What are you getting?
Maybe
Are you going into
look
the
at
wilderness?
some new shoes
Are
for
you
the
just-
hiking.
You hike.
I do, but my body's falling apart right now. But maybe some big toe box shoes, like those
the Keens.
Altas.
The Altas.
Yeah.
The Keens have the wide toe box too.
I have Keens now,
Okay.
but they're kind of beat up.
I love, they just have so many cool collabs, I think.
Do
that
they?
Yes. Yes, they do.
Like
And
who?
My favorite new Keen one is the water shoe, the sandal
Yeah.
with all the little side things on it.
Okay.
Try those because they still have the grippy bottom.
What's the matter with you, Mommy? The cat got your tongue?
You guys are getting so deep into hiking
Hiking?
shoes that I'm like, I'm in
You're
over
lost?
my head.
You're lost in your New Balances?
100%. I've been wearing those
I'm
since I was
very-
18. I buy a new pair every year.
She
like
is,
I,
yeah.
that's
Well,
it.
New Balances have
I
vibrant
hike
bottom.
in these. Why do you need hiking shoes? Why not just use sneakers?
If you're going up.
What,
If you're going
I go
up,
up in
need some
sneakers.
grip,
I mean,
baby.
how up do you go?
I mean, it's been a minute, but I mean, what about like the hard one at Runyon? I've done that. Are you going up more than that?
Yeah, I'm going up a little more than that.
Yeah, more than
like
that.
if it's gravelly, like you got to have traction. Like where I go out behind the Brand Library in Glendale, up that straight one, 50 minutes up, like you do not want to be slipping.
Are you still vegan?
I am. I've had enough though.
What's
I've
going
had
on?
enough.
Wait, how long have you been vegan?
I've had enough too.
You have?
Well, of you being vegan. I
Oh.
feel like you need to not be vegan.
Wait,
Why
weren't
is
you
everyone
vegan?
saying that?
I was. My parents and I
I'm
went
plant-based. Plant-based. Vegans get upset because I'm wearing, you
vegan.
can't be a
the
vegan.
leather.
Yeah, they're so like this is the whole problem with progressives in general. I say I'm vegan, and a bunch of fucking cunts, and I use that as a broad gender word for
Got it.
men and women.
Got it.
Will be like, you're not vegan.
I
You're still
know.
like, you're still wearing leather. And it's like, can't you at least give me a little pat on the back?
Yeah, welcome me
90% less animal death.
That
And they were going to throw this away anyways. I had nothing to do with that.
Why are you getting sick of being plant-based? Are you ready for some eggs? And
It's not
some
eggs.
Chicken skin?
No.
What do you want?
I don't find that I miss things really, but the truth is because I'm having all kinds of weird, kind of mental and body issues lately. And also the reason I got into it was to literally see.
If you could lower your cholesterol.
Yeah.
And you didn't, right?
Not much.
Yeah.
It's just a genetic thing.
Do
Yeah.
you
It
have
was
hypercholesteremia?
No, it's never been really that high.
Yeah.
Like I kind of peaked out at 225, 227.
Not bad.
No, but like I did want to see if I could manage it. And now like that's kind of a bust. And the truth is,
You busted out on.
yeah, it didn't do that. And I don't feel fucking great.
Yeah.
Like, whatever it's supposed, like the inflammation, whatever, my sugar's not great. And also like, what is it doing for me? And then just to sort of counter it in order to get B12 and your omegas, I mean, you got to be aware, you got to do it responsibly
Yeah.
to get all the shit you need, which is fine. But like, I'm bored of it,
Yeah. This
of
is
the food. Because you eat the same food.
What are you eating for like sugary stuff?
Well, I've been pretty good lately, but I eat a lot of those lifesavers because I got off the nicotine.
Lifesavers. That is so sad.
No, like just do them instead of the Zins. I quit nicotine like 4 months ago. I quit a lot of shit, to see what was going on with my body,
Are you freaking out from quitting? Like, how are you handling it?
It's been 4 months, but like I do end up eating those, this dumb wintergreen.
Yeah.
My question is, given that I'm having some weird body issues in terms of like tingling and stuff, like what, I also got a full body scan because Paulie kind of bullied everybody into it.
Oh,
We
did you get a
did too.
pre-nuvo?
I did.
Yeah,
How'd it
we all
go?
did.
You did?
Yeah.
You're so young. What did you fucking think you were going to find?
Some weird
We
stuff.
had some random lesions. I did.
Everyone
My
does.
spleen.
Yeah, I think we had some fun incidental findings.
Yeah.
Oh, did you do it in partnership with them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
For the
sorry.
free Well, no, what do I care? They asked me to they asked me to do that, but I'm like, what if it turns out bad?
Will you tell us your results?
Yeah. I mean, my results were okay for my age, but
Yeah. I'm worried. I feel like your tingling is low B12.
no, it's not. I'm fucking jacked on B12. Jacked. Because that is something you have to do when you're plant-based.
Yeah, you have to.
And I use that spray. If anything, I've got too much now. Like I got blood tests and it was a little, my B12 was okay. My D was a little low. My zinc was a little low. But then you start supplementing that stuff and all of a sudden you've got too much.
I know.
I'm all zinced up. So here's what I have. I have scoliosis a bit.
Okay.
Oh, did you know that about yourself?
I feel like I might have.
Yeah.
It's so middle school of you.
It is. It's all kind of a hot girl.
Yeah.
There are severe degenerative changes in your cervical spine.
What part?
Cell 3, C3, C4, C4,
Oh,
C5,
your cervical, your neck.
C5, C6, C6,
neck
C7.
Do you have neck pain? Neck
Yes.
pain.
What
And
do
I-
they?
and I
what
have,
can you do?
Desiccated discs. Huh?
Oh.
What desiccated? That's like how I consume liver. They desiccate it and put it in little pills.
Oh, no. Well, the disc, like if you have a bulge or hernia, at least your disc is still full of stuff. Like desiccated means they're dried out. They're like little fucking dried apricots.
What can you do?
Fucking nothing. I don't know.
You can fuse them maybe at one point?
I'm not doing that. I'm not
Yeah.
getting surgery until I can't
No.
walk.
I heard you say something on a podcast recently, and I want to get the exact quote right. You said young men would rather hate things than have sex.
I'd say young men would rather hate than fuck.
Yeah.
Or hate than come is what I say. Maybe
Is
not
that,
come.
do you think it's just a new thing, a new generation, a younger generation thing, or does that apply to
Oh, yeah.
all
Look,
young
man,
men?
you know, it's like the
since
truth
dawn
is,
of
it's like,
time?
yeah, you know, getting laid was never that easy. And if you're a young dude, like, I don't know when it was easy. I mean, when I was in high school or, junior high or whenever the fuck this is happening, there was, usually one or two dudes that were fucking, but not everybody. So I don't know when it's become a choice that it seems like there are some nihilistic and sort of broken young dudes who are, putting all this energy into looking a certain way and not engaging with women, yet having a lot to say about who women are and why they don't want to engage in women, yet making themselves awfully pretty. So I don't really know, what that's all about, but I do know that some of that energy can be guided into certain types of hate or fascistic sort of leanings. Like, sexual repression has always been a driver of a lot of bad things.
Period.
Amen.
But I don't know that, young guys getting, not being able to get laid is anything new.
Right.
there-
But you have to make an ideology out of it.
Was there an equivalent of the manosphere when you were growing up as a young man? Was there equivalent of like, okay, there's some level of like repressed, non-fucking rage that was existing around you when you were a young guy?
Sure, but you either put it into, I mean, you put it into punk rock or metal music or Dungeons and Dragons or whatever the fuck you were going to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was no influencers guiding these dudes into nefarious things or into sending them money. So like it was that it's all a product of influencers, and this con job economy of content providing platforms, right?
Yeah.
So if you've got a bunch of young guys, who are listening to you shit on women and watching you beat up gay guys, and then asking you to send them money to put it in their investment fund, it's like I don't
so sick.
that didn't exist. And I don't know what there was no manosphere. There was definitely like the jocks are over in that part of that school,
Yeah.
and we're over here.
Yeah. It was a simple time.
Well, they didn't have this fucking monster.
How do we do it
The brain fuck machine.
So Esther and I both have sons.
Yeah.
And this is like our.
You've
this
got a
is my
son
thing.
too?
Yeah, I do.
When did you do that?
He's almost 2.
But we have sons now. Were you a good son to your mother?
We asked this question
To
every man we've met lately.
I mean, the better question is the other way.
Yeah. Was she a good mom?
No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Why not?
I think it's a different time. She was 22 years old.
Oh, wow.
She was married to my dad, who was, whatever he was. It was what you did, She emotionally was not together or, didn't have a real sense of self. So I think, initially, because my dad was like, trying to become a doctor. Mm-hmm. So he was never around. So the bond was, intense, inappropriate, emotionally demanding for me as a kid. Mm. I don't know. There's a story that I've told before in terms of whatever the hell is wrong with my mother about me when I was a kid, like 2 or 3, I guess. And I was around a coffee table and somehow I fell and slammed my head on the table and was crying. And my mother in that moment looked at me and then slammed her head on the table too.
Interesting move.
Whoa. What is that impulse? I guess it's empathetic but selfish. Like I want to see what kind of pain he's in. But you would think the instinct would be to grab the kid.
You.
Yes. It's a twisted story, but it's a real story. It's disturbing.
Instinctually, it's like now that I have a kid, I can't imagine not wondering.
Yeah,
are you okay grabbing?
What do you interpret that she was doing there? Have you talked to her about it? Do you remember? You remember
man,
it?
I have nothing fundamentally against my parents. Like I understand they're flawed people, and they just weren't good parents. Emotionally, like in weird ways. It's not just standard. Like it would have been better if they were just beating on me. As opposed to sort of being so self-involved themselves and so filled with panic and so young that they were exhausting, my ability to sort of develop a sense of self because of their needs, right?
Can you give an example of that? Like what that looks like?
Well, if you're really not capable of some sort of, selfless love, because of your own fears or your own selfishness, what you're presenting as love is really just worry, right? And it's also, a constant sort of like you're acting impulsively and apologizing a lot. Like, either you're yelling or you're making mistakes and, you don't really, give the kid an opportunity to sort of detach and make his own mistakes and just be supportive. You're always in a state of panic and, somewhat overprotective, but also more worried about yourself than the kid. Like I believe that they were worried about us because they didn't want anything to happen to them in a way.
Do you and your brother sort of like corroborate and have the same experience?
Yeah. His was a little worse, I think.
Why was his worse?
Well, because like when I was born, like I was the first grandchild of all 4 grandparents. So I had a lot of like support early on.
You do have first grandchild energy.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like the happy baby. I was everyone, like my mom's mom probably saved me, my life in a way, just because she was very capable of being a loving person. I guess my brother was a real crybaby, and my mom used to lock him in a room because she couldn't handle it. And it turns out he's lactose intolerant, so he's probably in pain.
Poor thing.
And then
He
there
was
was
in pain.
there was no breastfeeding then, no breastfeeding. We're all formula. Both of us are cesarean. There's a lot of distance.
Do you have any like young memories of you huddled up with your mom or feeling warmth and like the warm fuzzies, the cozy, and being like, oh, I love where I'm at with my mom?
I can't. I can't. The idea of hugging my mother is just disturbing. What?
I think at some point that's biologically appropriate for you to be like, I don't want to hug my parents, right?
No, I think she was profoundly needy and lonely. And, she says, that I was her best friend when I was a baby.
Esther.
What?
Esther.
I do have all the bad instincts of like a toxic Jewish mom already with my son.
She came over
What?
at the pool the
Why are
other
you
day,
making-
and you were
what?
like, "Do you
Okay.
feel as though your son's your boyfriend?" And I said, "No."
I was surprised.
I felt like my
Absolutely
mom was
not.
leaning on me emotionally well into too old.
Oh,
Like there's like certain things I remember, you know, like it was panicky, and she was very vain and very, you know, like put together. She's very anorexic and like always was, you know, she had fake boobs, blonde hair, you know, always really tight pants, just flaunting around, flirting with everybody.
Were you ever like a mama's boy where you were like super attached to her?
Never.
No.
Never.
Really?
Like as soon as I could tell those two to fuck off, I did. And it saved my life probably.
How do you feel that her as your mom it has like affected like what you're attracted to in women? Like, are you looking for the opposite? Are you looking for certain things like her or not at all?
I really don't know what my mother is emotionally. I don't know.
did you ever get to know her in a different way? You know, when you got older, was there ever like a point where you're just like, you know, I think she's in a different stage now, and I am too. Maybe I can
I think the only
understand.
thing, like, I think that what was heartbreaking about my mother is that I think that she wanted to be an artist. She was a substitute teacher, taught art classes. She was a painter, and I think she really wanted to do that. And then, like, at some point, you know, I was old. That's probably maybe in college, maybe late in high school, that, you know, she got into the master's program at UNM and wanted to paint, but then just couldn't cut it. You know, she felt too old. And then, you know, she went into like several different housewife businesses eventually. And, you know, also my dad was a massive fuck around. So like there was a lot of strain. Like I have empathy for whatever she was, but as a mother, she caused me nothing but anxiety.
Oh wow.
Like she was a hypersexualized person, you know, and like I didn't like the way, like I didn't like being hugged by her or any of it. So like I used to bring girlfriends down to Florida when I'd visit her just to, you know, run defense.
That's so interesting.
Wait, was it because did you like? I know Pete Holmes sort of covered this in his show Crashing, where like his mom. I don't know. Did you ever watch any of that?
No,
Like,
he annoys me.
basically in his show he depicts how his mom like was in love with him and was like really touchy with him, and like, you know, it seemed like this was a woman that like wanted to fuck her son.
Yeah.
Is that-
I got that. Yeah, there was some of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Standard Freudian stuff going
No,
on.
it's not really Freudian, just an interpretation of Oedipal stuff. But like when that stuff, like, you know, that Freud made that assumption for everyone,
Yeah.
that there was an Oedipal connection. But, you know, when shit gets real, that's not Freudian. It's disturbing.
It is really disturbing.
And it's not,
I
you know,
agree.
like the idea that all men are Oedipal on some level, that's a theory.
I've always hated that too, because I really don't want to believe that a mother-son connection has to even like exist in that realm. Like,
no.
Yeah, I just think that as people develop and, you know, like, who knows? I mean, I don't think it's unusual. I mean, you're going to figure out sexuality some way or another. And, you know, the first time you're aware that your mom has a pussy and tits and they represent something other than what they used to, it's, you know, it's a big day.
did you have naked parents or clothed parents?
Naked parents.
I did too. I had naked
It's the
parents.
worst.
You had clothed parents, right?
I don't even know anymore. I'm questioning everything.
You had
now.
clothed parents, but they talked about sex openly.
Yeah,
and that's what bothered you.
That makes me deeply uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Is them like thinking it's funny to like insinuate like that they're sexual and like around me.
Yeah, both of my parents were very sexual and very hip and very kind of pretty. You know, I don't know what was going on. I wouldn't say they were swingers, but they, you know, I don't know. I was born in 63 to a 22-year-old mom. So in 69, you know, she was what?
29. Not 28. Yeah.
28. 69. The culture was like crazy. Everybody's dressing up. Everyone's like looking groovy. By the early 70s, she's what, 31? And I'm like 8. And it's just that
Wow.
world.
It's also so crazy like in that context, but like adding just now what I know about like what it's like to have 2 young children, it is nearly impossible to take care of 2 kids on your own. And like, how does a young woman who's 22 even like survive
Well,
that?
before they left Jersey, like she dumped us at our grandparents. But, you know, we moved to Alaska when I was 6. My dad was in the Air Force for 2 years, 69, 71. We were in Anchorage, and my brother's 2.5 years younger than me. In talking about like my mother, like I'm doing a joke about her. Like I'm doing a joke about having gotten my sense of humor from her, like on stage from a story that I've had for years because I remember it. But the things I got from my mother was an interest in art. You know, like she was very persistent about, you know, we would travel to the East Coast, the Museum of Modern Art, to see big retrospectives. She was very, you know, into painting, wanted to paint. So like there was the one thing about having young, emotionally immature or selfish parents is that there was no discipline because they were always nervous. There were outbursts of yelling, you know, some grabbing, you know, mad, but there was no routine of right and wrong. You know, they were always supportive, if not passive, about whatever I was doing.
Yeah.
You know, when I became interested in the stuff I became interested in, you know, it was just sort of okay. At some point, I wanted to be a good student because, like, you know, I had this dad who was this doctor who was not around that much and very volatile. So you go through these different phases of wanting to kind of please each parent in a different way. But I do think I grew to appreciate my mother's struggle after a certain point.
Do you think that she is satisfied in her life with having been a mother?
No. No.
No.
No, my mother said to me when I was like in my 50s, like, you know, like 15 years ago maybe, like I used to go down there to Florida and cook Thanksgiving dinner when her sister, my cousins are down there, her sister's down there. And she was like, she just said, you know, out of nowhere, I was sitting there prepping food. And she was like, you know, Mark, when you were a baby, I don't think I knew how to love you. I mean, she said that. So like, that's sort of like a big puzzle piece. I guess that puts a lid on that. No more therapy for me.
Did you say, like, what do you mean by that? Did she expand
No,
on that?
I got it.
One sentence
What
is all you need.
like I have a picture of her holding me when I was like, you know, like 6 weeks old with like what?
And then what about though you as like all your adult life success? Like how did she react to that then through the years? Has she been like, oh my God, I can't believe like I made this little like intelligent, successful comedian?
I think they always thought that I was going to be all right. I think I sort of outgunned them early on. Oh, but the story I tell, you know, about the sense of humor is like, I remember we were on a ski trip with another Jew family, the Leffenfelds, whose kids were a little younger than me and my brother. I guess we were at the dinner at the lodge or whatever, and the adults were talking, and someone had brought up, like, what if you were stranded in the snow and, you know, and you were forced to eat the people you were with? You know, like what part would you eat first? And my mom was like, I guess the penis. Like, at least I'm used to that, you know. And I was too young to really put it together, but not too young to not remember. Like,
Core memory solidified.
but look, man, I don't know. Because of all that, you know, like I don't feel the same type of closeness, I think, that people feel to their parents. I would never look for really emotional support from either of them or really advice from either of them for my life. And I didn't. My dad was a doctor, so there was a lot of bonding over like, am I dying? But,
That's kinda nice.
you know, and I talk about like really not wanting to call. I called my dad today. He didn't answer, but he's got dementia now. And my mom's kind of losing it, but she's in Florida. My dad's, you know, in New Mexico. My brother's dealing with my mom. Thank God.
That's really
I don't want
nice.
to deal with either of them. My dad's wife's dealing with him. My brother's dealing with my mother. I don't know what would happen if I had to deal with my mother.
Skims. I love Skims. Oh my gosh, I'm wearing Skims cotton right now. I'm wearing the scoop neck cotton bra and I'm wearing the cotton underwear. I've been wearing at least 4 days a week the Skims cotton fold over pants. I love those. They're great for walking around the city, lounging at home, and going to dance class. I can move so freely in them, but I'm fully covered up. Like, I'm just not going to be someone that wears shorts in the summer. I don't care how hot it is. I'm always wearing a full length pant. I'm never wearing a skinny ankle pant because I'm too short. It's not flattering. The fold over pants with a flare are where it's at. Those are stretchy. They're comfortable comfortable, but like skin hugging in all the right ways. I actually have a pair in small and medium. Both sizes fit me well, so I like that flexibility there. You can shop Skims cotton and all of our favorite pieces at skims.com. After you place your order, be sure to let them know we sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select our show in the drop-down menu that follows. Okay, I think it's really important to be aware of red flags when people are sending money. Suss out the vibes, you know, because the scammers, they're out there and they're tricking us, and you just have to really have eyes on the back of your head to stay safe out there. Although it does scare me because I know I would definitely fall for a scam that was like, hot girl fall purse 2026, buy it here, buy it now. We have to stay safe, and keeping your money safe from fraud deserves to be a priority, and Cash App treats it that way with Security Lock. Cash App requires a successful Face ID or biometric authentication to access your account. It's like your money is protected by your own personal bodyguard, even if your phone is lost or stolen. Plus, if you're about to send money to someone new and Cash App notices something looks a bit off or that you might be falling for a scam, it will send you a warning before the money is sent to confirm that everything looks right. Download Cash App and spend with peace of mind today. New to Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use code SECURE10 in their profile at sign up and send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Terms apply. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Cash App Visa debit flex cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC, and the Bancorp Bank, NA, pursuant to a license from Visa USA Inc. See terms and conditions for the Sutton prepaid card, Sutton debit flex card, and Bancorp debit flex card. Discounts and promotions provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. There's no better place to improve your sex life than Beducated, the world's largest platform for sex education you never had but always wanted. And if you're going to learn anything, why not learn it from the masters? Beducated brings pleasure-based sex education right to your bedroom from the world's top experts. Get access to 150 plus courses on everything from toe curling oral sex techniques to erotic massaging tricks that cover every inch of the body. Beducated offers clear video tutorials, practical exercises, and reliable information you can choose to learn on your own or with your partner, and their content is inclusive, embracing all races, sexual orientations, and genders. Whether you're single or in a relationship or exploring your own desires, Beducated is a safe space for everyone regardless of your sexual orientation or gender. Their courses empower you to enjoy sex more, build confidence, and communicate better with your partners. Right now, click the link in our episode description, and Bedukated's 5-minute quiz will recommend a personalized roadmap to a slower, more pleasurable sex life just for you. Kick off your journey by clicking the link in the episode description.
I've got a cat I love, but he's just so violent to the other cats. They can't live. I have to keep them separate all the time, and it's really a drag for everybody.
Yeah.
But he's a great guy. I just think he'd be better in a single cat home.
Yeah. Some cats need to be solo.
I've had him since he was 2 weeks old, so he didn't get enough. He didn't get enough
2
time.
weeks old? How did
Yeah, because there was a feral litter next door, and she was moving them around, you know, and they were under my steps, and I took him. I saved him from a life of you know, prostitution and drug use.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened with my dog Julio. He was dumped. At 2 weeks, I started bottle feeding him. His brain didn't develop, and so he is extremely aggressive. Obviously, not to us, but to new people and other animals.
Yeah.
Not
No, my guy's really lovable. He just doesn't like this other cat. So, and they're all males.
Oh.
We have to name these? How about Eidi?
Edie
is
like
cute.
You can be Eidi, right? Until someone takes you and calls you something else.
Maybe this guy's Tony.
Tony.
I feel like Tony's a spirit.
I like classic names. I have Charlie, Sammy, and Buster.
Oh, I love Sammy.
Sammy's the dummy. He's like Switzerland. He gets along with both of them.
Here, Tony, show your
You know,
face.
chubby, orange tabby Sammy. He's smarter than I let on. He just
Here's
doesn't,
Tony.
These our babies are up for adoption.
Yes, through the Burbank Animal Shelter. So if you guys are interested, go find Tony.
Look at this one.
And go find Edie.
She's really pretty.
She is pretty.
Look
She's a
at-
calico.
She is pretty.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
I wish I could have cats.
Uh-oh. Where are
Cats are
you
the best.
going?
I see how it's so
Where
easy
you
to just have
going? Where
14
you
cats and just
going?
call it a life.
I have 3.
Do your cats like sleep with you and love on you?
Sammy's odd. he doesn't like. He's not a big lover. Buster's. He's like you got to get the hang of him. He doesn't. He's not outwardly loving, but like he just kind of doesn't want it, but he does.
No.
So they're all like me. And Charlie, like, well, the violent one, he sleeps with me, and so somewhere around 4 a.m, he decides like to be a loving cat for about a half hour, and then come morning it's over.
Aww.
Like I used to do a joke about that, about how I've had all these cats, and I'm like, I keep getting these fucked up cats. They're all tweaked out. And I said, it's taken me like 20 years to realize it's me. Like, they're acting in relation to me. And I just don't talk to them properly.
Another thing that you said recently that I had to write down because I related so hard was someone asked you.
What?
Someone asked you if you have health OCD, and you said, well, if I have symptoms and if I have time, I have symptoms. Was that like an off the cuff thing you said, or is that like?
Yeah, I think it was.
That was so perfect for me to hear. It's so real. Because at first I was like, oh, he doesn't really have it, and then I was like, yeah, he does.
No, I was total hypochondriac for so much of my life, and now like I have all this insanity with the tingly stuff. It's really driving me crazy. Drives me crazy. I have a long history of fighting hypochondria.
What would your advice be to young you or anyone or yourself about how to deal with health OCD?
I just learned to identify anxiety symptoms, but also wait stuff out. Sometimes you have a thing and it's sort of like, well, let's see if it goes away. To give yourself a window. Like, most of the time something's not going to kill you that quick.
Right. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it might go away. A lot of things go away, depending what it is.
We have our own fun variety of medical OCD, I think, you and I.
Why you're calling it that as opposed to hypochondria?
I guess, yeah. Why do I call it like health OCD?
Because I think it's just a constant, like,
like this, the
body check.
Thoughts like spiral in a loop that I think are suggestive of OCD.
The obsessive. It's obsessive.
As opposed to hypochondriac, right?
I don't know what the.
I think it's probably one and the same.
Yeah.
Health OCD is cute. I mean, it's like
it's cuter.
I think you call it like that because of the interface with the ability to look up symptoms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but still, you think you're dying.
Your whole life, at least for me, I feel like people call me a hypochondriac, so it's like an insult.
Oh, okay.
And if it's like I say health OCD,
reframed it
yeah,
to health OCD.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's something you have. It's not something you are.
Yeah. It's not my fault.
It's not your fault. Hi, little Tony.
What's
Tony's
up,
on the
He's on the run.
loose.
We had another quote actually that we really liked from the production side of yours, Marc.
Yeah.
You once said that the two most embarrassing things a man can do is sob uncontrollably and experience profound joy. What do you guys think about that?
About men that sob uncontrollably or experience profound joy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they both look so silly.
It's so real.
You know what I mean?
Wait, yeah, men.
You don't want to be the guy that's like, oh, and then, or like.
Yeah, it almost takes sobbing over like joy.
Are you on? Are these cats okay?
Does someone want to come rescue?
Experience the sobbing uncontrollably.
She's hanging out back there. Okay.
My partner died. There was no stopping a lot of that. When I was I trying to deal with the grief, and it was COVID. And I went away. I went to New Mexico, up to Taos to try to hang out. And I went and saw my friend Devin. I remember we were just eating. We're just sitting there eating, and I couldn't stop. And I just started crying. I couldn't stop. When you really can't control it, it is what it is. I mean, I guess it's embarrassing, but there's probably another way to look at that.
I'm totally in support of men crying. I'm not in support of men being happy. That's like doesn't make sense.
I know you
to me.
hate happy men.
It's just like not normal to me. I think because like I have like
what's an example of a happy guy?
Like gleeful.
My comfort zone is sad men. Like my dad, my partner. Like a man should be sad. Like that's masculinity to me.
Really?
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, but I think that when that like verges on the inability to express any kind of joy and gratitude.
I don't think it should. I think that could be peppered in. I mean, do you feel like you're a sad man? You're a sad guy, right? You're not happy.
What do you think, Esther? You've traveled with me extensively. I I think you have an opinion on it.
I think there's sad presenting, and then there's actually really sad.
Well, look, I'm a sad. I think a bit sad person, but I've I manage, and I'm cranky, and I do know how to. I'm interested in things. I wouldn't say I'm depressed. I think I get excited. I don't experience a lot of happiness. I'd like to experience more, but I think that there's the idea of what a happy man looks like. That's also a broad spectrum.
Yeah.
Some guys can be grounded. Some guys can be at peace, which is different than happy per se. Some guys are okay with shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what happy looks like prolonged, but the sobbing thing, I think it's just been culturally accepted that it's embarrassing. You don't want to be, no one wants to be crying in public. I mean, you see it, I think, more with women, but usually there's a guy yelling. If there's a woman crying, there's a guy going, I'm sorry. I'm fucking sorry.
Wait, I also feel like you share a trait with me, which is that you're kind of like low-key obsessed with one of your exes, which I have ex obsessions.
I'm trying to, which one?
I feel like you mentioned there's one that you email.
Oh, yeah, that's like done. I mean,
know
like
it's
it is.
done.
I mean, yes.
I know.
Okay. So it is low key. Yeah.
Okay.
It's low key in that understanding. And I talked about this with somebody today.
Today.
Well, here's the thing about exes, especially ones, is that like you keep them in a place in your head, right? Like how you look at your time with them and how they do is very different, probably.
Yeah.
Like I think to that woman, I was just this mistake. I was just bad time.
Wait, bad timing or bad? You were a bad time.
Well, I just think we got married stupidly.
Oh, okay.
I was like emotionally abusive and crazy and newly sober for a lot of it. And it was just bad. But at this point in my life, I'm like, yeah, it was a long time ago. I hope she's okay and whatever. So there is this idea that I just would like to run into her just to be like, wow. I mean, the fact that I live in the same city as her and I haven't seen her in like 20 years is crazy.
Don't they say that's when you know for sure that the loop is closed?
20 years?
Yeah, in 20 years, if you do not run into the person that you once knew in your life, then that story is for sure closed, is what
I guess so.
No,
Yeah.
I disagree. And I'm so on your level of like, there are certain people, whether it's ex-friend, ex-boyfriend, like, how have I not run into them? I would love just that moment to just be like,
yeah.
I don't know. What would it
can
be
I
for
tell you the alternative, which is I ran into an ex 3 times in one weekend.
Was it Bobby Lee who you work with?
No, and it was strange and it was awkward and I wish it wasn't. It was weird.
That's because you're probably the person that had the bad time.
Possibly.
And we're like the person that
Oh my
made the
God.
bad time.
Possibly.
I kept running into this ex. It was a bad one. She scared me.
Were you running into her? Or was she finding you?
No, but I just remember Kit and I were going to the movies, and I just saw this woman in the lobby, and I was like, I grabbed Kit's hand. I'm like, we got to go. And I'm like, I literally started running almost, And she's like, what? And I'm like, but then I kept running into her, and it was okay. It was okay. And I think it was traumatic for me and for her. And I think that my marriage to that woman, who I'm mildly obsessed with, was horrible for her. And, we went through a horrible divorce, and I was a pretty horrible guy. And, and I understand all that. And I think that my desire to run into her would just be to see how it would feel.
Almost as a check-in to be like, do I feel something or do I feel nothing?
No, just sort of like, hey, we're okay. I did okay. There's that too. Like, I did good.
That's what I was thinking about you, because I know that when that relationship ended, you were like kind of like down on the dumps
Oh my God.
in your career,
It
right?
was terrible. It was all terrible. I was broke. But I do know, it took me a long time, even after the divorce, to realize I didn't handle that well. The divorce, I thought I was handling it in a righteous way, but it was really kind of fucked up. And I thought she was fucked up with that thing and how much she was really set out to sort of bankrupt me. I totally see, my fault in all of it. And I have made an amends, and I do feel bad about it. But I just think for me, and this might have something to do with bad parents is that, you know, when you have a time with somebody, especially one that lasted years, you do have a place in your heart for them. It's in there, and it's in there for life. So, like, despite everything that went on, there is something about seeing them where you're like, hey, we had a time. You know, you're part of my heart. And I think that, you know, your heart probably craves that, even that moment, you know, even if it was terrible. But for the other side of that, that person's like, I never want to, my heart does not want to see that person.
Yeah, I feel that too. And what I relate to specifically is like, I have one ex where it's like, I'm like blocked on everything. There's like no way to see them. Whereas I have exes who I do run into.
What the hell could you have done to deserve that?
I know. Just like,
what did Esther do
your
to be
new
the
girlfriend
monster?
is a fatter version of me, nonstop texting.
You did that?
Yeah. What? That's not crazy. But yeah, that's where I got blocked on everything.
So you were a bit of a monster.
Yeah.
Can I just say, from
What?
the receiving end, from being on the other side of someone who is still mildly obsessed with me,
Yeah.
it's a little scary, guys.
I get it. It's totally scary. I would be terrified.
That's what I learned. Like
We agree.
Okay.
I would text this woman, you know, she got me sober.
Yeah.
You know, and I credit her for that. And I would text her every year on my sober birthday. Not text her, email her. You know, thank you for getting me sober, despite everything. You know, like, you know, how bad or whatever. I do, you know, I'm forever grateful, whatever. And then at some point, not that long ago, within the last, you know, probably decade, you know, I did that. And then I got something back for the first time. And it said, if I want to hear from you, I'll let you know. And then I had that realization, like, I'm that fucking guy. Yeah. Like, where once a year, she's got to be like, oh, fuck. Like, what, you know? But like, after a certain point, like, I just like, don't talk about it. And everyone lives their life.
Do you have other exes that you kind of have any like hangups like that with, where you wish you could connect with them, or is it just the one?
No, but like, I mean, because that one, like, I really loved that person and I couldn't handle it. You know what I mean?
Also, you guys were married. Like,
Wait.
that's a whole...
Yeah, I mean, I really think I loved her. Like, if I look back at the best times of my life, they were like starting a relationship with that woman. But I couldn't handle it, anything emotionally. And I was a jealous, possessive, crazy, insecure, angry, yelling. It was just bad.
That's so relatable, because I feel like we've all been like monsters in relationships at some point. Like, I was for sure a villain in at least one or two relationships where I was
Totally.
jealous, and I remember
Yeah.
throwing like full on like 93-mile-per-hour pitch, like chocolate covered strawberries at this guy that I was dating. It was 3 a.m. And I was jealous because a girl was texting him, you know, whatever. You've never gone wild like that, Esther?
No, I totally have. I think it's interesting to hear. I feel like because we have a lot of like female guests and we do a lot of girl talk, it's interesting to hear from like the male perspective. Like, I was in love, I wasn't able to handle it.
Totally.
That's like so profound.
Totally.
almost.
There's
totally,
also very...
totally taken with that woman.
As a person who was not in the relationship with you, it is very healing for me to hear men say, hey, that was my bad, I fucked up, I was a monster. Because then I now believe there is some, you know, level of like, not just acknowledgement, but like a true like understanding of, okay, men do see where they've
I was
fucked
totally, you know, it took a lot of time to sort it out.
Yeah.
But I was a toxic fuck. And I do this joke, now I go like, you know, I do believe that you can get better. I think that you can become a better man. I think that the joke is, I think all men are on the spectrum of toxic masculinity. But it's a big, broad spectrum. It goes from like insensitivity to dismemberment. So if you're somewhere in the first third, you know, and you get some self-awareness, there might be hope for you.
I'm on that spectrum too. I'm in the first third
Yeah, in the first
of the
third.
toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
I've got it.
No, I feel awful about a lot of it, but I've processed the best I could. My first wife, I've seen her, and I left her for the other one, and so she does. There's no reason for her to fucking like me, but we have family connections. Like, she was very good, best friends with my brother's first wife. So, but we've reconnected a bit, and she's, it's not great, But if I go to Austin, I have dinner with her and her husband, or if she's out here, we've had lunch and stuff, and it's okay. And again, it's the same thing. You have all this history with somebody.
Do you feel as like hopeful about love, or would you ever get married?
No, fuck no.
Fuck, it's like a hard fuck.
I don't know that I did love properly. You know, I don't know, because of what we were saying about my parents. I don't know that I know how to trust, you know, or be selfless really in a way with my heart. Like, I can show up and be a good guy and do things for people, but like I don't know like about letting go still, and I'm old. And I think those are just old wounds. But I certainly would never get married again. And the last relationship I was in was, we were both pretty autonomous and stubborn and angry, and I got a kick out of her, and I think she was, you know, okay with me, but we weren't taking a lot of risks, and ultimately we never lived together. But she wants to be married, so we just had to stop, because I can't do that.
Did you feel like you were ready though when you were with Lynn? Like, were you ready?
That was all started in insanity. You know, like, I was with somebody else, and, you know, she was, you know, in a marriage that wasn't really working. And it took a long time for us to sort of be free and to be with each other. And we didn't have that much time together. But I felt that, you know, in terms of her having her own life and her own art and being, you know, beautiful and, you know, age appropriate, and like, and just the sort of dynamic we had, I felt that there was a future there. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what that would have looked like. We didn't really have time.
In the previous marriage, you were like in love, not ready. Did you feel like you couldn't handle it? Did you feel like you could handle loving?
Oh,
Lynn?
yeah. I think it would have worked out, because she was grown, and, you know, she had been through what she had been through. She had a certain amount of wisdom. I mean, with my second wife, I mean, she was younger than me, and, you know, and I was in a marriage that I did in hopes that it would make me, you know, normal. Like, I was like out of my mind. I was a young, angry comic with no real life, you know, experience. I was in love with her. I was struck. I was consumed. But is that healthy love? I mean, who the fuck knows what that is when you're in love with somebody?
Have you felt that kind of like intensity since for someone else, like at this age?
No. Thank God. I don't fucking need that shit in my life.
It's interesting.
I'll take, like, I'll choose no drama over that.
I do wonder if it's just sort of like impossible for us to feel that level of intensity.
Well, because that's
again.
like drug addict stuff.
And I'm a drug addict, so believe me, I'm looking for it.
I'm so curious, because it's like, you know, when you first, like, your first heartbreak is like so just devastating, right? And you never really, in adulthood, it doesn't quite match that level of intensity ever. But
No.
like, I do wonder.
I
I wonder
don't know
if
if
it's
that's
ever going
true.
to strike you.
I don't know. I don't know that heartbreak can't be that intense. I think that's wrong. I think heartbreak can always level you, you know, no matter what it is.
No matter what age you think.
I mean, it's terrible. It's
So it
like,
could
it's
still strike
loss.
you.
It's loss.
Yeah.
You know, it's when you fight it, like, you know, when my second wife left me, you know, I was devastated, and I could not fucking function. Like, I was fucked up, and it just kept getting worse, you know, as the divorce went on.
Were you able to stay sober then? Because if she got you sober.
I did.
Whoa,
I stayed sober through that and through Lynn dying. You know, I've stayed sober through it all. Yeah.
wow.
But no, I think heartbreak, like grief, like the heartbreak of someone dying, is its own thing. But I think when people leave, whether it's you or them, it hurts, and it's weird, and it's sad. Even, you know, even though, you know, in my last relationship, we ended civilly. But I think, especially if you have shitty boundaries and shitty parents, like, the intensity that you experience when you do get connected to a person is a bit much.
Oh my gosh, I relate to that too, because I do feel a similarity in my upbringing of like not a lot of them. Maybe it's not similar, I don't know, but like I don't feel like I was emotionally connected. Like, I feel like my parents kept me safe.
Yeah.
Like, I always say, like, I wasn't raised, I was watched. Like,
yeah, that's funny.
But so when I do feel an emotional connection with someone, it is like, it's so powerful.
Yeah, you latch.
I latch.
You
Yeah.
latch,
I
yeah.
latch quick.
You latch, and you latch deep.
Strong.
Yeah, I fight the latching. I fight it. Like, I will opt for no drama over having intense feelings. Like
Yeah.
there's something those are the kind of decisions you make as an adult. You can avoid the
Avoidant. I was gonna say you.
type of heartbreak.
Yeah.
But I know I'm crazy. So I know, like, I don't know what's in there. You know, I feel like I've evolved, but I'm also protecting myself from, you know, those types of relationships because I have boundaries. But like, if a crazy person gets in there, I'm old, but it could still happen.
Let's
But
go.
couldn't it be good for you and feel intense? Or do you think
Sure.
that
Yeah, I'd like to get there. Yeah.
okay.
Like to have a person that is not like a major threat
Right.
to everything
not-
that I am
Yeah.
and have a healthy relationship
Right.
with them. Yeah, I think it's possible.
Okay.
Totally.
Yeah. Because I mean
That's the other thing. I'm too old for this fucking crazy shit, dude.
I don't think so. Esther, tell a story about your is it your aunt with a yacht? With a boyfriend with a yacht.
My 95-year-old aunt, actually she's 96. She has a boyfriend now that has a yacht. Unfortunately, she used to be his mistress and then his wife died, so now they're dating.
How old when they got
My
together?
dad's wife used to be his mistress.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, my mom's still alive though.
Whoa. So your parents, they
No.
don't talk?
Talk? No. No, she found out about it. Took a long time, but she found out about it.
How did you find out? How did that affect you? You're just so disconnected at that point, you don't care?
I was in my 30s, and it was hard to decide who to live with.
Yeah.
No, I was well far gone. I'm just happy that she's there now. I'll tell you
Right. Yeah, caregiver.
that. She's all right. Everybody's okay.
I feel like you got one more in you. One more crazy relationship ahead of you.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it make you feel so young and alive?
No, I look, I get enough attention,
Yeah, I know you do.
and like I feel alive, and I feel, vital.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I do okay,
Yeah, no.
and but there's part of me that's sort of like I could take it down a notch. You know, we'll see. I don't want the crazy. I'd like to sort of, try to find something, honest and try to stay in that, as opposed to like, because I am a addictive guy, and like I got nothing. Like now I don't even have nicotine.
You don't even have eggs.
Yeah, no, I know. Maybe I should just, start eating a little bit of meat.
Yeah.
It's a gateway.
A little ice cream.
Yeah. You just don't want to be running around and fucking guy.
Wait, I also want to ask, because I feel like maybe it was sometime last year you had like a big run on all the, like you were on a big press tour.
Oh yeah.
And you were going off on all the.
The guys.
Yeah. Where are you at now with that? Like, do you feel
It seems like some of them have sort of rethunk it a bit, but like I don't know that I can really. Mostly Tim, and I feel like Andrew has kind of rethunk it. I don't expect Theo to rethink much, and I don't like, that's not a slag on him, and I think Joe knows where his bread is buttered, but I think that my problem was with their politics. I mean, I know all those guys, and I was clear about it, and and I still feel that way. But what's done is done, and now what do you really expect? I mean, Tim has been sort of surprising in that he is sort of like, we fucked up and this guy's, bad news and he's conning everybody. But
don't you think they all always knew? How could anyone not always have known that?
I really think that that a lot of people don't have a worldview. They react emotionally, and also they're looking to do what's best for them. But I really don't think, in order to really get from, I want to say trans, I want to say reach, and that's what I'm going to vote for. I'm going to vote for anti-wokeness, so I can have the freedom to do that, and to get there, from there to realize they're going to use that as an umbrella for all the policy necessary to dismantle liberal democracy on all levels under that anti-woke umbrella. For them to know that that was going to happen would take a worldview, and it would take an engagement with what these guys wanted to do politically in the big picture. And I don't know that they did that.
Yeah, they cherry picked what was convenient for their own like
They're
personal
fundamentally
gain.
not political
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Right.
They're not following the narrative, and they're not necessarily, they'll react to stuff, But I mean, there is something that's been going on for decades, between the right and left, or the right. There's a lot of things that I had to get hip to, like when I was at Air America, to sort of follow the narrative. And then once you get conspiracies and alternative sources of things where everything becomes dubious to you, like, well, that's not true. Where'd you get your information? Like, if you can say that to anything and there's no barometer for what truth is or what it isn't, and then you're in some other fucking you're in you're living in a conspiracy theory.
It's frustrating because I look at this, I'm like, what's worse, that these people were so evil and selfish, or that they were actually just that stupid? And I don't really know which one it is.
I think that once you get into the 1%, that your life is that. So like, once you sort of like look at all these guys, jockeying for position in the 1%, hundreds of millions of dollars, you're talking a lot of money. So whatever, goes on at the Kevin Hart roast, or whatever racist thing they say, they're still flying far above the world and the average person and the average person's problems and concerns. They don't have any of them.
But they don't
None.
have a recollection of the grind or the early years?
Because it was all, I don't know what their life is, or it's all about success, but their day-to-day challenges are, they might as well be on Mars.
Yeah.
So like, and it really is an insulated world that is about success and about numbers. And then also like someone like Tony, he likes the role of being the villain.
Yeah.
And, what does that mean? And I think he likes Trump for the same reason. But, who's running this country and what's really happening and how is it all coming unhinged? And the fact that that we don't even have enough infrastructure to stop an outbreak of diarrhea virus. When does it impact guys who are so rich that they don't have to live on the planet anymore? I don't know, but it's like, look, I'm not broke and I'm not, working a manual labor job, but I am empathetic to the struggle of people that are marginalized or minorities or in a certain type of trouble. And I do think that you lose a lot of what makes America amazing if you're all about white culture.
Yeah, I personally feel so confused where I sit now, because I'm like, I started with a lot of those guys, and it's like we were just like broke people that like wanted to be artists. The antithesis of that. Yeah. Well, yeah. But it is art. It is art.
I get what you're saying, but there are people that, get into it for the big prizes, right? So like there is I'm not a person that generally thought about money, and I still don't. Like, I had something to say. I still kind of feel that way. I'm happy that it worked out and I made some money. There was nothing I put in place to make that happen. There was no forethought to it. I lucked out. I was there at the beginning of something that coalesced around me, and it worked out for me. But I didn't have a plan to make money, and I still don't. I'm happy I did, because it makes my life easier. And now that I have it, I do feel like a success in that way. But like, there comes a point where it's like, how much money do you fucking guys need?
I think my point is just like people who are creative and who are people that get on stage to express how they feel, it doesn't make sense to me that they're also like Republican. Like, that's just my brain doesn't compute.
I don't mean to jump to your.
No.
I don't think that there is a lot of creativity necessarily to having a point of view about a thing, right? These aren't poets. You're not talking about 20 Brent Weinbachs.
I guess you're right.
You're not talking about Chris Fleming. You're not talking about Maria Bamford. You're not talking about people who set a bar that's way high and way unique and way different. And you're really like, I never looked at it that way. You're doing something above and beyond.
I see what you're saying.
There are artists within what we do.
Yeah.
But most people are just looking for people to listen to what they have to say and to get as many people as possible to give them money.
Right. Right. Make the drunk people laugh.
Speaking of the diarrhea outbreak,
this shit happens because, it always seems to happen. But the fact that, the government cutbacks no longer have infrastructure to track these type of outbreaks.
Yeah.
Who wanted that? Like, who?
They cut everything.
Who wants that? Why does
They took all the money out of the government to give it to rich people.
Do our comedy peers actually want us to not have infrastructure?
Not have hygiene, regulation, and medicine? Good question.
But to your point, like if you don't have a worldview, you're not thinking that far ahead.
And also, you're not buying shit at places where you're going to get sick. And also, you don't have to worry about seeing a doctor. And also, you don't have to worry about being infected by things that you're going to get from Taco Bell unless.
That's so true.
It's like your worries are different, man.
Concierge doctor for all of
They don't
them.
even have to fucking worry about getting sick on a commercial airline.
I can't wrap my head around it, I guess.
What? Having that much money and being that excited to be that fucking rich?
Well, just like to care that little about.
I want to know how you would act as a 1%er.
Well, the 1% is pretty big, but are you talking like Kevin Hart 1%?
I want
Joe
to see
Rogan
ESTHER
1%?
as like a private, no commercial airline.
Yeah.
I would still though I would totally, you're right, keep to myself, shut the world out. I'm supportive of that, but I would still care.
You'd have a nice pool.
Yeah, I would, but I would care about others still.
You think so? You think?
I do think so. I don't know. Maybe I would be evil. You never know.
But just like people are interesting. Different types of people are interesting. People should help people. These at what point did someone decide that tolerance, empathy, liberal democracy, education, healthcare for all. When did somebody just go like, oh, enough of that shit?
I know.
Like just get on board, be cruel.
That's what I don't get.
It feels better to hate than it does to tolerate.
That's where I'm stumped. Well, Marc, thank you for being here today.
Sure. Did it work out for you guys?
For sure.
All right.
Thanks for making the drive to Nowhere Land.
Am I going to REI?
Are you really looking for new hiking shoes? Do you need them, or it's just a trip you want to take? Because REI, I get it. It's so fun.
Do I really need them? Not today. But this is what happens when you have a lot of time and you want to get out of the symptom loop. You go into the shopping loop. What do I need?
Yes, from loop to loop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, Marc,
Good to see you guys.
We'll see you soon.
Okay.
Bye, everybody. See you next week.
Go to Burbank Animal Shelter. They have kittens.